Go live. Here we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another fun-filled edition of the PlayStation Drive. This is our 70th adventure, our fun little road trip. My name is Matt, and I'll be your driver for this wonderful day's events. I'm joined, as always, by the Supreme Court of Canada himself, Mr. Court Lalone. What's going on, Court?
Are we sure this is number 70? Are we sure this time?
Because
I was recording with our mutual friend, Mr. Midas, today, and he was explaining, he asked me about how we had 2 episodes drop the other week. He's like, I was so confused. I was like, yes, there was an error.
Yeah, no, listen, if we don't keep people on their toes with our episode numbers, they just take advantage of them. They're like episode 69, episode 145. We need to keep people on their toes, you know? You get it.
Fair. Hey, I on my other podcast, Three Dads, I just stopped giving numbers. I was like, you know what?
Yeah, just
I had
letters.
to send the agendas. I'm like, I'm done. I'm done saying what number episode it is. It's just an episode.
Welcome to the PlayStation Drive episode Y. On this week's episode, we're going to be talking all about PlayStation Stars, PlayStation Plus, and so much more. So strap in. But before we do all of that, we need to clean the garage. This wonderful garage to clean, because we have a couple of things to talk about. It is Carpool Gaming Day. New Carpool Gaming Day. Is this?
Yay! It's the same. Well, no, it's a welcome our new host day.
Welcome to new Carpool Day Gaming Day XL 2D. We're gonna Nintendo name this day.
XL 2D. I like that.
Yeah, right? I think this is pretty good. Make sure you all stick around for the Nintendo Drive with our wonderful new hosts, Lachlan and Seth, who you will learn much more about in just a little while. And the other thing that I do want to bring up very quickly before we get into it, for all of our Canadian listeners, it is it's the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. We're not going to get too much into it. Just please be aware of the things that are going on in our country with the Indigenous people and the Native Americans. So please go learn, be aware. Every child matters, and these things should be talked about. So I just wanted to shout that out. Make sure everybody's aware. Go read the news. Be aware of what's going on. And let's have some fun today, because it is National Carpool Gaming Day 2D XL 3.14. But if you're listening to us live right now on youtube.com/carpoolgaming, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit that bell so you're notified when we go live for all of the fantastic things that we do over here on Carpool Gaming. If you're listening to us on your podcast service of choice, please make sure you subscribe, make sure you rate us with those 5 stars, make sure you follow. It helps us grow, helps us reach even more people, which is always very fun for us. Because Court's been killing the game. Make sure you head over to TikTok as well.
Oh, God.
Court has just got us up to 100 subscribers, followers. What is it on TikTok? Members?
It's
body bags?
No. It doesn't even make any sense to me. I'm going to pull out the old card here. I don't know, but we got 100 subscribers.
Yay!
Or followers. No, hold on. Followers.
Right?
YouTube is subscribers.
Yeah, and TikTok is followers. So make sure you go engage there as well, because Court has been absolutely killing it on TikTok. And if you have a couple extra bucks to toss our way and you'd like to tip your drivers, head over to patreon.com/carpoolgaming, where you can toss bucks in the tip jar and out comes a wonderful cornucopia of content. Thanksgiving weekend is coming up. Lots of content to listen to keep you engaged as you deal with friends and family and all of the like. We are thankful for all of you, just as you are thankful for us. I'm just going to assume that they're thankful for us.
And we want to give since we're still in the garage here, Matt and I will both be away for the next 2 weeks, but you will still get episodes. So we will be recording 2 episodes this Sunday.
Yep.
While I'm doing my Thanksgiving. So listeners will still get episodes. Matt will be away, and I will be away for the next foreseeable future for 2 weeks. Is what it is.
Yeah, it's next week. We will still be doing. I'll still be doing the show live with a special guest, which will be announced as we get a little bit closer to.
Yeah, seriously, I don't even know.
Yeah, because I don't even know. Strap in. We're gonna have fun.
As long as we both. All right.
Yeah, we're both on the same page. But yeah, that will be at a different time next week. So stay strapped in. It'll probably be on Wednesday or Thursday night, because yes, I'm going away for a couple weeks. But you will still get 2 wonderful evergreen topics from Court and I to keep you waiting for us when we return. But Court, we need to talk, because music, sounds, things we like. There is things in the ether. Sometimes you just need to close your eyes, really feel the energy and the vibrations from the universe as they reverberate through us, and really just talk to our souls in the playlist of our lives. What have you been playing, Court?
I was like, where is he going with this? It's funny. I had to uninstall a game off my console officially because it has given me tennis elbow.
Okay.
So MLB The Show. I love you, but you're done forever for me. For 22, we're done. I've deleted you off my Switch. I have deleted you off my PlayStation. I have deleted you off my Xbox. So I was away in Texas, as you know, and I didn't play any video games. And I was getting my arm was hurting the week before. I went away to Texas. My arm was fine. I came back. I played 3 innings of baseball. My arm started pulsating again. And then I went to my physiotherapist, and my physiotherapist explained to me it's because when you're playing MLB The Show, I'm not doing anything else, so I'm stressing. I'm just doing one thing. You're just pressing your thumb down. Like, you do nothing else in that game, right? You're just pressing one button. And it caused inflammation in my muscles. I can play other games. I cannot play MLB The Show, so I literally deleted. So what have I been playing? I have been playing Grounded on my Xbox.
Nice.
I know it's a PlayStation show.
It's fine.
And I actually like it. I was surprised I like it. When it gets dark, though, it gets scary because there's spiders. And I've been playing, as always, is my new hotness, Disney's Dreamlight Valley. I've been playing that religiously with my daughter. We have now unlocked Ratatouille, and we have got Remy's restaurant open, and our next thing is to go get Ariel. And we've been playing daily.
I just want to shout out Project X Talk in the chat saying Court is swinging the controller like a bat. Is that why you got the tennis elbow? Are you playing this game wrong? Genuinely, I'm sorry to hear that, dude. I'm sorry to hear that your time with MLB The Show 22 is over. You know what? I'm not ready to call it for the rest of the year. I feel like that voice in the back of your head might still come back, but I hope you rest and you feel better and your elbow gets better because
it's done.
No,
I'm done with it. Well, this is the way I look at it. So I'm going away to Florida on Wednesday. I won't be back until the 15th. And then Gotham is going to come out. It's just like, you know what?
It's your birthday.
MLB The Show's done. You also got NHL's coming out. Then we got God of War in November. She gone. Like, sorry, MLB The Show. I hardly knew you. I had a great time with you. Probably one of my games of the year. I guess it has to be, considering how many hours I put into it. But it is deleted off all consoles. It is gone forever. I even deleted the app off my phone.
Okay. We'll see. I hope, Cord. I hope you're right. And I genuinely do hope you feel better because that is a lot. I never expected when we started talking about MLB The Show, what feels like 75 years ago, that the story would end with you physically injuring yourself playing this game. But that's life sometimes. As for me, Again, things have just been super busy. There's been a lot going on, so I've just been, the only thing I've really had time for is continuing to play Trails from Zero. Finally in the last dungeon, still absolutely loving that game. Again, not going to go in circles about it too much because we've already talked about it a lot across the reviews and the discussions that we've had. It's really fun. I really love it. And I'm actually really looking forward to my trip because I'm actually going back to Korea for a couple weeks, and I will be traveling pretty much with just my Steam Deck. And Disney's Dreamlight Valley is probably the number one thing that I'm genuinely looking forward to playing while I'm on the road.
Dude, I can't say enough on how much I like it. On the show that I was on today that I can't stop talking about it. I totally forgot. I have also been picking up The Division. I started playing The Division 2 with Robbie Bobby Miller. We played for a little bit. I saw him online and I was just like, you know what? I'll hop in. I played that. I forgot. But I'm telling you right now, Matt, you will start playing Dreamlight Valley. And then it will consume you because I care. Like, I'm like, okay, we got to unlock Ariel. Like, my daughter and I, by Sunday, I think we'll have her unlocked.
Nice. Yeah, I'm genuinely excited to check it out because it has been like on my radar for the last few weeks since it launched. And it does look awesome. So I'm excited to spend some time with it. But my dude, we have a ton of breaking news to talk about. This is a very news heavy day. Let's start with the light one. Let's start with the fun one. Coming from IGN, written by Ryan Leston. PlayStation Plus games for October 2022 announced. We got our essential tier. We're getting Hot Wheels Unleashed for the PS4 and PS5. That is an arcade sim based on the Hot Wheels universe. We are also getting Injustice 2, the fighting game coming from the makers of Mortal Kombat. That'll be the PS4 version. And we're also getting Super Hot, which is a fantastic FPS. One of my favorites in a long, long time. So we're getting those 3 at the essential tier. Let's just
the Injustice 2. That's only PS4. Didn't we get that game before?
Not Injustice 2, I don't think. I think we
got
Injustice
1 because I have one of these rare trophies that like no one has, and
I remember you mentioning. Yeah.
It's okay. Like it's my thing.
Let's just start with the surface level, Court, before we dig deeper into the story because there are we have things to talk about. What do you think of the Essential tier for the month of October?
Essential tier is, I am very excited to play Hot Wheels.
Me too.
I haven't played it. I have heard nothing but great things. I already went through. Gamer Graham gave me a heads up. If you go into the PlayStation Store right now, there's a ton of free DLC. Don't know if it'll still be free when it comes out, but I downloaded all that. I got it all. I put it all in my cart. I went through and snagged all that free stuff, threw it in my cart. I'm very happy that we're getting PS5 games.
Yep.
That's, I think, is my biggest takeaway. We're getting PS5 games. We're not just getting PS4 games, which is what we thought we were going to get. We continually, they're giving us PS5 games. I think Essential is the way to go. I don't think there's any other tier you need.
So I do think that this is a great month. Hot Wheels similarly is a game that like I've almost bought a few times just because I have heard about how much fun it is and how well made and how solid the arcade driving actually is. So I'm genuinely really excited to check it out. Injustice 2 is a game that I'm excited to hop into as well. I loved the first Injustice, and again, the story mode was my favorite part of that game. So I'm excited to hop into Injustice 2 and check it out. And then Super Hot, I've played already, but I might replay it again just because, again, how unique and awesome that game really is. I really love that game, especially the VR mode.
Yes, but if it's not PSVR 2 game, like if they don't figure out a way to make that, I'll be annoyed.
So this is just a flat Super Hot.
I understand, but I know there's a VR mode in that game. Like,
yeah.
That's a game that's made for VR.
Yes. Which I really hope that they do pull over the VR version of the game. But so we're both happy with Essential. I'm going to say I think this is a good month. I think this is a really solid month. Where my issue starts to come into it is we seem to be back to them not talking about Extra and Premium at the beginning of the month. The way that they started the first few months of their new PlayStation Plus was they would just announce it whenever for drops in the middle of the month. And then last month they were like, all right, here is everything across Essential, across Extra, across Premium. Here's all the games coming next month. And now we're seemingly back to them just announcing them whenever, I'm assuming in the next couple of weeks for them to eventually drop mid-October. I just don't get it. I just don't understand why they can't figure out their messaging, because you'd have to imagine that they have the games that are going to be coming. I can't imagine they're still working out deals this close to the deadline of what I'm assuming, is going to be mid-October for them to not be able to talk about it. And if any games do get added, well, great. It's a surprise. You can just add on to the list rather than holding the entire thing back. I just don't get it, Court. I don't understand the messaging, the inconsistency of it, and what they're doing here. What are your thoughts on this one?
I don't either. We were praising them last month of like, oh my God, you pull an Xbox. You're just like, hey, mind you, Xbox has been just shadow dropping stuff on Game Pass lately as well. Mm-hmm. So maybe there's just so much going around in the industry right now that people just don't know they're chickens with their heads cut off and they're running around. But if I'm PlayStation, I want to get ahead of this because Xbox, when they do the Game Pass drops, it's huge. It's huge news. As someone that does like the shorts and stuff on our channel, when I do an Xbox Game Pass short, it gets a ton of views. Mm-hmm. People seem to care. So I'm hoping they get it because as of right now, they're more and more giving me reasons to only have one tier.
See, for me, I still think that Extra is the way to go. Because I do think while the messaging is weird, the quality of the games that we get at that tier, I still think is worth it. Premium being the one that I don't think is worth it as things stand.
Extra definitely, but Premium's
Premium is just whatever. But like, I don't understand the inconsistency. Like you said, we were praising them for being like, here's your list, here's what's going on, and now we seem to be taking a step backwards, left, right. I don't know what they're doing here, but I just hope they figure out their messaging, because this to me is just a very strange way to handle what is supposed to be a major service for them, being the new Game Pass. And it seems to me like this is a bit of a weird way to do it, but we'll keep everybody posted as we go, because the head-scratching PlayStation stories do continue. Coming from IGN, written by Ryan Dinsdale, PlayStation Star's loyalty program currently offers better customer service as a reward. So, PlayStation Stars has launched in Asia.
We have a question from that was on Twitter that was asked around this conversation. Mm-hmm. They asked if are we going to be prioritizing our members for questions because of the PlayStation Stars? And it was God tier question, Steve Igvari. I truly appreciate it because let's just go on to the are you kidding me with this? Like, this is just so blind and so bad. I don't get it. First off, I'll say this about PlayStation customer service. It is very good. It is very quick. It is well done. But what is this? Like, are you like seriously? This is what we're doing here. We're gonna do this weird. I don't call it weird. Like, this is weird to say, hey, the more you spend with us, the more you're in the ecosystem, we'll give you better customer service.
Yeah,
I'm paying for customer service now.
Let's detail the service a little bit more, because I think there is some clarification here that we need to have. And also, yeah, Steve Vigvari's question, absolutely unreal. From now on, if you want a question read on the show, you're gonna have to send us your trophy case, which is part of this program, and your level. Otherwise, it won't be read on the show. But basically, the way that it's rolling out, it's out already in Asia. It's coming to North America on October 5th. And there's essentially 4 different tiers within PlayStation Stars that, as you do these monthly, weekly missions, you'll receive NFPs, non-fungible PlayStations. So you'll get little digital collectibles.
Let's not get into that.
No.
Ooh, you can put it in your profile.
Yeah, you can put it in your profile. You have a display case on your profile now. But there's also coins that you'll be able to be able to acquire, which you get from buying games, which you get from doing some of these missions, which you can then turn around and use to buy stuff on the PlayStation Store. Seemingly, the exchange is a little bit ridiculous. From what we're seeing out of Asia right now, it seems like a game like, for example, like Sekiro costs almost like 4 times its listed price in terms of its coin amount. So there's obviously some weird stuff going on there. But like Court alluded to, as you work your way up these tiers, tier 4 actually gets you priority in the chat order in customer service on the PlayStation customer support, which is one of the most head-scratching inclusions into anything. This, to me, feels like it was made at the height of the NFT scam, and I'm going to call it a scam. And then they were getting ready to roll it out, and they're like, oh no, people don't like NFTs? Maybe let's just make these collectible items. And then they started kind of, piling other stuff onto this, like these coins that seem to be weirdly thought out in terms of their, currency equivalency. And we'll talk about the coins more when we actually get the service here, so we can see exactly how it breaks down. But to put customer service behind a loyalty wall is like one of the strangest decisions I have ever seen any game company make. And I don't mean to badmouth Nintendo, but this is a Nintendo move. This is one of those things that's just so head-scratchingly absurd. What?
It's like what GameStop used to do with their loyalty program, or EB Games when it first came. EB Games would allow you to return a game after a certain amount of time. Like you could play it for 7 days and get your full money back if you were a member. And that's what this sounds like. Like, hey, PlayStation, you have one of the worst return policies I've ever seen in a store online. Mm-hmm. How about this? Instead of giving me a priority in customer service, because guess what? Your customer service is phenomenal. Anytime I've ever had issues, and I had issues with my PS5, I've had issues with PS4, the customer service is great. I don't have it's not like I'm waiting a long time. You get right through. You know what? Give me a longer day to return a game. Or the fact that if you pre-order a game and it isn't even out yet, you can't return it is crazy pants. And that's actually a thing on PlayStation, that if you bought a game and you haven't even played it yet, you can't return it. With Xbox, I think they give you a couple hours.
Yep.
If you've only played like an hour of the game, you can return it at any time. Or if you haven't played the game at all, no questions asked, it's a return. But PlayStation, even if you pre-ordered the game and it's not out, they don't let you return it. And as someone who knows, because I had Fractured Butthole pre-ordered, and they would not let me return it. When it got delayed for like a year, didn't let me return it. I was like, oh, I'll just give my money back. They're like, you can wait. I'm like, are you kidding me?
And that's what I mean. Like there are so many things that we've talked about, so many things that we've asked for in the PlayStation ecosystem as a whole. Because yes, while there is a lot to love here, and obviously PlayStation is, my preferred place to play. I adore this place. The decisions that seem to be coming out of them this generation just continue to get weirder, more confusing, more absurd. There are some people saying maybe this isn't going to be a thing in North America. All we know is confirm that it is in Asia. I don't see why they would have any sort of disparity between regions. I don't see them doing that.
They put out a blog post on their North American site to talk about what's going on in Asia. So it's happening here. Yeah. Why would they do that?
I don't know. And let alone why lock it between the highest tier? I can't imagine that most of the PlayStation, consumer base is going to be fighting up to level 4 just to get priority in the chat order. The amount of times that people probably use those services is not that much. It's not that frequent. You're not on PlayStation customer support every 3 days where you need to have some sort of priority in the chat order. Is this really the best that they could think of in terms of bringing quality and a reason to build up to level 4, tier 4 on this PlayStation Stars ecosystem?
It seems backwards. I kind of wish, because I know Nintendo's is backwards too. Because like even if you bought the physical game, can you redeem it to get points? So if you bought the digital game, you don't get points, which is doesn't make any sense. But like Xbox, I wish they would do what Xbox Rewards are. Xbox Rewards are like they'll have like in Game Pass, if you play this game for the week, they'll give you rewards points, and you use it towards I bought controllers, I bought games.
Yep.
That's what this PlayStation thing should be. It should just be like, hey, the amount of money I give you, you're giving me money back, and I'm going to spend it back in your store.
You would think so, because again, like so just to not keep it entirely negative, I do like that they are at least offering you coins for, renewing your subscription, that they are seems that's great. That should be there. I honestly didn't expect that, because I expected them not to do something like that. So like I do think parts of this service have good ideas in them, but what seems to be the story out of Asia is that the execution around a lot of this just doesn't make much sense. And again, if it costs you 4 times as much as it would to buy Sekiro at the store, which is a game that is now a few years old, if it costs you 4 times as much in terms of their currency and the coin value to buy it with the coins that it would be, like, what? I hope we're going to be able to use the coins as like discounts for games that we're buying, and like even then they're saying like, oh, you wanna go up in this service, you have to buy full priced new titles. Like there's just so many weird ways to rank up through this stuff.
I feel like EA all of a sudden designed this.
Yes, that's actually such a good way to put it. It does feel like it's EA designed. It's just a very, very strange service. We'll keep you guys posted as we get more into it, because the launch, like I mentioned, is next week, October 5th. So you'll have our thoughts on that in a few weeks once we're both back. But just what a weird story, man. What a strange thing.
I was going to cover it on YouTube, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to save this for the show, because I saw it and I was just like, I don't want to plaster all over social media how backwards I think this is. I'm like, you know what? I'll save my thoughts, because you know what? It's a PlayStation show, but this sucks. PlayStation Stars sucks. Don't even care. When it comes out, I don't even care. Yeah. Don't even care.
Yeah. It's just, again, we've been asking for ways to interact with the ecosystem. We've been asking for stuff like PlayStation Experience to come back, and they're like, here's PlayStation Stars, which holds most of the things you don't really care about. The one part that you might care about, the coins, seems to be a half-baked system anyway.
We just want themes. We want, when we complete games that are PlayStation first party, like it used to be on the PlayStation 4, and you get the platinum, they'd send you an email and be like, hey, here's a theme you can have for your PlayStation of Horizon Forbidden West. Like, bring that back.
Did you get the Last of Us email? The one that was like, you finished The Last of Us Part 1. Congrats. And I was like, cool. What's in here? Nothing.
Yeah, I got the email. Yeah, it didn't make any sense.
Come on. But we'll keep you all posted, because we will definitely be talking about PlayStation Stars again. Let's keep this train rolling to a story from Europe. Choo-choo! Written by Ed Nightingale over on Eurogamer. PlayStation Sackboy: A Big Adventure is coming to PC. It has been listed on Steam, and we got an official release date of October 27th. There is a pre-purchase bonus that comes with costumes from, which include Connor from Detroit, Become Human, Jin from Ghost of Tsushima, Deacon from Days Gone, and Sam Porter-Bridges from Death Stranding. There's going to be targeted 120 frames per second, ultra-wide support, and a bunch more coming very, very soon. Court, I like to see that we're getting another PlayStation first. It's not really a first-party game, but it's a first-party IP.
Yeah, it's
Sackboy
it's not Mina Kamal that made. I love this game.
Yes.
I played it. I will say this as a Sackboy game, it got considerably harder as that game went on.
Yes.
Like, wow, it kicked the living daylights out of me. I loved it. I love the music in the game. It's so good.
Yep.
So ultra wide, 120 frames per second. This game is just going to look beautiful. And this is another game on the list, because we already know that Miles Morales is coming to PC
this fall.
We know the other Uncharted, Lost Legacy is coming to PC. PlayStation's coming to PC, which I truly love. After someone who got to play Spider-Man, I was like, wow, it's the definitive edition of that game. And I love Sackboy, so I'll play it on PC.
Especially with we're getting Uncharted and Sackboy in October, because Uncharted is mid-October. Correct me if I'm wrong on PC.
I believe so.
Like the 14th or something along those lines. And then I'm assuming that Miles Morales is going to hit in November, probably towards the end of November.
Yeah, I would think they're going to bring it towards Christmas time, just because of the theme of the game itself, right?
Yeah. I agree with you. I think this game is fantastic for anybody who likes Mario 3D World. I think this is pretty much exactly that, just done in a really cool way.
With way better music.
Yeah, the music is fantastic. There's actual licensed music in the game that is built, that the levels are built around, which I thought was really, really cool and a fun surprise when you get to them. Yeah, I think Sackboy is fantastic. I'm glad it's coming to PC. I'm glad people are going to be able to enjoy this game, across different platforms, because it's just a blast. It's just so much fun and a great game to play with friends. A great game to play with kids. It's just a lot of fun.
But I will say this: I miss Little Big Planet. And I just want that back. I used to love the created levels. Everything about Little Big Planet, the creativity of that game was just phenomenal. Sackboy's great and all. It's great. But I miss Little Big Planet.
I don't know, dude. I think I like Sackboy more than Little Big Planet. I was never a big Little Big Planet person, but I'm glad at least the spirit of the series is alive, and I'm curious to see if we'll get more from them. Because, as we know, Media Molecule is heavily invested in Dreams. But we'll keep you posted. Let us know if you're going to be playing in the comments. Are you going to be playing Sackboy on PC when it hits? Because this game is wonderful. Coming to us from Eurogamer, written by Tom Phillips. Skull and Bones has been delayed yet again, now launching March 2023. Originally revealed back in 2017 and in development since 2013, the project was supposed to arrive in November this year, but has been pushed until March 9th, 2023. While the game development is finished at this stage, the extra time will be used to further polish and balance the experience using players' feedbacks from our technical tests and insider program, which happened over the past 2 weeks, said Ubisoft. Court, what do you think?
100% just getting out of the way of other games, and they, instead of putting the game to go out there and sync, because the date it was releasing was just, come on now, God of War was just going to literally destroy it.
And if it wasn't God of War, it would have been Sonic.
Exactly. Like, Sonic Frontiers and God of War, and you're going to put out Skull and Bones, especially a game which I'm excited to play because I love Black Flag, but I was excited to play it after Black Flag. Like, it's going to be a little bit to get back into. I want to play it, and I was actually, when we were talking in the Discord, I was like, oh, I want to play it, but I'm not going to have time, because I looked at everything that's around there, right? So I was like, oh, I'm never going to get to play this game. Now that it's coming in March, I put out a video on our YouTube shorts, and I put in there, like, they're getting out of the way of another game, and someone put in the comment, that doesn't make any sense. I was like, no, it makes perfect sense. They're literally telling you in their statement that the game is done, but they just want to polish it more. Yes, they would rather not put this game out to die. Like, the game looks good. It looks like a game that I would like, but if it's coming out, because I like most Ubisoft games, so but if it's coming out at the same time as God of War, I'm not going to pick it up. I'm going to play God of War, and then maybe I'll get back to it. No, because Callisto Protocol is going to come out, and I'll just never get to it. Because it's Gotham Knights, God of War, Callisto Protocol, and Sonic Frontiers that I'm going to play. That's it for the rest of the year. So anything else comes out, I'm just not going to get to it.
See, I don't know. I think that this is very much getting out of the way of the other games that have now been announced around it, because 100% God of War and Sonic Frontiers are going to take, and I'm not being facetious about Sonic Frontiers. I genuinely think that game is going to do all right and might be okay. But it's going to take all the air out of the room. Nobody's going to be focusing on Skull and Bones. I really hope that with this extra time, they kind of reevaluate what their expectations are for this game. Because even incoming in March, we already know that January and February of next year are already super busy. And I can't imagine that March is going to be left much alone either. The gaming industry is at a point now where we're getting at least a quality title pretty much every month. And not everybody is able to pick up these games every single time. So
yeah, because we've got Dead Space in January, right?
We got Dead Space in January. We got so much else that I'm blanking on right now. But like January and February are
who would know? Ryan would know.
I'll fact check myself in a sec. But like, I hope that they look at this game and they say, you know what? Let's put it straight to Game Pass. Let's put it straight to PlayStation Plus, because I think that is one of their only ways to make this game actually commercially viable. I don't see it selling that well.
So Redfall is coming in February as well. So yeah, there's games coming, but could this be finally we're getting Ubisoft Plus? Because like they keep saying that it was coming to the services that you can buy Ubisoft Plus, because this game would be on Ubisoft Plus, right? I know we have Ubisoft Classics that are on the PlayStation, and they're on Game Pass too. Like, they don't call it Ubisoft Classics, but we're getting Ubisoft Classic games. These same games that are dropping on Game Pass are dropping on PlayStation Plus. It's just seems to be the same.
Yep.
But I'm still waiting. As someone that is a fan of all the Assassin's Creed, one of my favorite franchises of all time, I would subscribe to Ubisoft Plus, and that would get me this game.
And I think
and I would play it.
And I think they did mention that it should be coming by the end of the year, or if not around that time frame. So hopefully
it's been what, almost 2 years since the announcement?
Something like that. But
it's crazy.
So just to kind of fact check myself. So we have One Piece Odyssey, Fire Emblem Engage, Dead Space and Forspoken all in January. In
Jesus.
February, we have Dead Island 2, Hogwarts Legacy, Like a Dragon Ishin, Octopath Traveler 2, a Destiny 2 expansion, a new Kirby game. And in March, we already know that we're getting Skull and Bones and Resident Evil 4 Remake. So
so there's no announcement for Redfall got delayed then, right?
Redfall, I think, did get delayed till next summer.
But
yeah, dude,
so January is Dead Space and then February is Hogwarts. So yeah, they only have March.
And again, you already have Resident Evil 4 Remake, which is going to sell like gangbusters in March. I just don't.
But it's a better chance in March.
It is a better as things stand.
Harry Potter is gonna swallow up any game that's around it. It is, regardless what anybody thinks. That game is going to sell a ton.
It will.
And then in January, you won't want to put it out then because I truly think Dead Space is going to sell. That game is going to be huge. A lot of people are going to buy it. And if not, then you know what? Bad on me. But I would think everybody's going to buy this game. It looks amazing.
But I mean, even outside of Dead Space, Fire Emblem and Forspoken. Forspoken is probably going to sell okay.
Forspoken will be huge.
Fire Emblem is going to sell a ton of copies. It always does. Yep. So like even looking at it, like if somebody has, okay, I can only buy a couple games in the span of 3 months. When you put Skull and Bones versus Fire Emblem versus Dead Space versus Forspoken versus Hogwarts Legacy versus, for some people, Like a Dragon versus the Destiny versus Resident Evil 4, that is a lot of competition for people's time and money in a very short time frame. So I don't know. I genuinely do hope that this game does well because I don't ever want to see a game fail. I just can't see the value proposition when you prop it up against all of these other games around it. And that's as we know so far. March is probably going to get even busier. But I don't know.
We never know. We could get one of these Game Pass games that we haven't heard about. All of a sudden, boom, hey, guess what's coming to Game Pass in March? And then all of a sudden, no one's playing Skull and Bones because of a game that's on Game Pass or on PlayStation Plus.
It could be a Cult of the Lamb situation, a Stray situation. Again, those games reign the narrative for the few weeks that around their launch. But we will keep you more in line with all Skull and Bones things as we go. Let's get to our next story coming from Hype Beast. Well, you know what? We're not even going to reference anything. Dude, we got The Last of Us trailer. The HBO Last of Us trailer. And I know
was so good.
It looks so good, dude. The clicker looks amazing. What's it called? Everything, like Pedro Pascal. I'm still really, really up on Bella Ramsey as Ellie. Like seeing Nick Offerman, like this, it looks so true to what The Last of Us is. I can't wait for this. I can't wait.
The iconic moments from the game, just the exploding of the house as you drive away. You get chills and you're like, oh my God, they are just shot for shot doing this bad boy. And
the gas station. Yeah.
I'm very curious of where they go. Do they have any liberties with the story or they just go shot for shot and just say, you know what? Because there is, I'm not giving spoilers, but there's a very powerful scene with a fire in the background and it's in the trailer. And I'm like, I am very curious how they're going to do the camera on that because you already have the cinematography done for this technically in the game. Are they just going to do it that way? Like I know the whole part where they showed Joel and Ellie and there's the plane off in the distance. That's not from the game. So we know, here you go. There's something that's not from the game that's going to be in there. My guess is like they'll go there and there's a clicker there or something. Like you're going to have these sort of things happening. And also when you see Bill and Joel's in a pit, like that's not how they meet. So it's obviously going to be doing some things, but my guess is the very powerful scenes, like the one that was on top of the Capitol building where Ellie says, this looks beautiful. And Joel looks at her. That's in there. The scene with David, that's in there. Like those things are going to be in there. And then who's playing David? Like he's not in the trailer, is he? I didn't see him in there.
I don't know. I don't think we actually got there. There are some people are theorizing are David. But I mean, rumors, possible spoiler here. So if you don't want to hear anything, maybe skip ahead 30 seconds. But there are rumors that because we do know Ashley Johnson and Troy Baker are in the show.
Correct.
And there are rumors that Ashley Johnson will be playing Ellie's mom in some sort of flashbacks. And there are rumors that Troy Baker might actually be playing David.
Wow. Well, if he plays David, that's well on him. Just because that's a very, sick and sadistic character, right? It's just going to be I'm very curious on how they play that portion of the game because that's right after Pittsburgh, right? Or is it before Pittsburgh? Right. I was laughing when they showed the spotlight in Pittsburgh. I was like, hey, that's an achievement. You just got to turn off the generator. I mean, a trophy. Just go turn the generator off. There's a trophy right there. I'm very curious on how certain story beats on how they're going to do it. And then what are they going to do? Are we going to get, if the show takes off, Let's theorize here. If the show is huge, and I truly think it's going to be, I showed my wife the trailer and she was like, "Oh my god!" She doesn't even know what The Last of Us is. She lives with me, has no clue. Then season 2, here's my guess. Season 1, we don't finish the story. The video game, we don't finish it. We're actually there's gonna be season 2, and that's where we get the ending. And I think they're gonna end it with David. I think season 1 ends with David.
I'm so curious because I was literally about to ask you that. Like, I don't know. I'm so back and forth on whether we get the full adaptation because, like you mentioned, some of the things that we see are pretty late into the game. Because even if you cover up into and including David, there's like a quarter of the game left. Like,
we don't see any of the end game. Like, there's nothing of Utah. We don't see any of Utah in there at all.
I know.
Like the giraffe. Like, you would think that they would have used the giraffe in the trailer like nobody's business. And that's not in there. So the iconicness of Utah is not there. I would think David could be an easy ending just when because they do show him in the fire, right? So
yeah, that's what I mean. So like we do see parts of what's pretty late in the game. So what I'm wondering is like, I maybe you're onto something. Maybe they use that section as like, cause like I think even an easier stop if they weren't going to adapt the full game would be to stop at winter when that huge moment happens. Stop at winter and then start with David in the second season. But if we're already getting glimpses of what goes down there, I wonder if the game ends right after winter as they're heading to Utah. And then the second season, I kind of wonder if
it's already been renewed, has it not?
I'm not sure.
I think it has.
I'm going to double check. But like, I even think like, I think this one will play it pretty close to what the game was.
And I think if the show is huge, we will finally get what happened in between.
I don't see an official renewal for season 2 as of yet.
Because technically they also can do Left Behind, right?
We do know Left Behind. We do know they're doing Left Behind because we see
Left Behind. Sorry, yes, we saw that in the trailer. Oh my god.
We see a shot of Riley.
What? Oh my Jesus, what is not in this? Like, how many episodes is this?
And that's what I'm saying. So what I'm kind of thinking is, do they end with them going to, like, Utah, going to the hospital, and then do they start season 2 with them starting to get there and start building Abby and her family into the story even earlier, right? Because I think the moment of the hospital was huge in the original game, and it gets even more important in the second one. So do they start building Abby? Do we start seeing some of the flashbacks? Do we start building up those characters already in the beginning to the middle of the second season? And then
I like it.
And then do they maybe stretch out that area, build it out more, bring in parts of The Last of Us 2, and then end season 2 with the massive moment from the beginning of The Last of Us Part 2? And then season 3.
I would still think you'd want to build the empathy, right? So like of the thing that happens in the hospital.
Yeah.
If you still ended season 2 with just that, and then because you got to look at this from a money perspective. If they want to drag this out like Game of Thrones and give it 7 seasons, right?
Yep.
You still need an in-between because Ellie grows up. We don't know what happened, how they got to there's a whole section of the game that we don't get to see, and we just start on 2, right?
Okay.
They could do all those flashbacks from 2 that we have of Abby, like you're suggesting. I think that's a great idea of doing all that. You could have a whole 3 episodes of just Abby as a kid and her dad and them researching and doing everything, and then showing the hospital in Colorado, the science lab before everybody's smashed it up. Like all the things that we see after the fact, we could see what happened beforehand, and that's season 2, and we end it in the hospital with the Fireflies, with Abby's dad and Joel and their confrontation. We could end it there, and then have season 3 of Abby searching for Joel. We have her mourning and stuff.
Because you could just time skip between 2 and 3 there, right? Like you could just do the jump. I'm curious, dude. I'm really, really excited for the show, and I can't wait to see more from it. And we're obviously going to be talking all about it as time goes on.
Literally every episode.
So we'll end the news there. There's another story that I wanted to bring up, but maybe we'll save that for our evergreen episode because we do have a question from Twitter. Again, if you want your question read on the show, make sure you hop over to Discord. Make sure you hop over to Twitter where we put the questions live each and every week.
Sorry, I did late though. I put it very late yesterday.
It's all good. Don't worry about it. We again like Steve's question is just one of the best we've ever gotten. Like this just is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
S-tier.
But Nagachaka's is also really, really good. Let's bring Nagachaka in over on Twitter where he says, what are your thoughts on the upcoming Dead Space remake confirmed to be one single continuous shot like God of War with no loading screens? Do you want more games to be done in this format? What do you think?
For especially a horror game. So like spoiler alert, Dead Space is a horror game. It's scary as sin. The jump scares in that when there's no loading screens. Oh my goodness. Like that means we're getting jump scares and a lot of them. I truly, with the technology and these super consoles we have, I now see an elevator or I see anything like that now, and I'm just like, oh my god, really? This is still in a game? Like, and I get it. Like, I always laugh now when we play like the old PlayStation 4 games on a PlayStation 5, and they're in the elevator for 2 seconds, yet before they were there forever. Or if I think a really good example is Batman Arkham Asylum. There's a whole conversation with the Joker that the elevator's already landed, and it's like he's still talking, and I'm like, oh, so that's the reason that conversation was there, is because they wanted to do a loading screen, but because the power of the PlayStation 5, there's no loading screen anymore, so it speeds it up. So you're just sitting there in the elevator while the Joker's talking, you can't get off. So I'm like, all right, it makes a more cinematic experience in my opinion. When you play God of War, I remember I was just like enthralled in it, and you just become more immersed into the world, especially with no loading screens. Loading screens let you turn away from the screen.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
When there's no loading screens, we need quick resume. I'm just gonna say it. Just bring it. Like, get rid of placing stars. Just give us quick resume.
I agree. I actually am very excited about this. So I've never played Dead Space, as we know, and I'm very excited to check out the remake when it's time. I think this is a great call. The game looks very cinematic already, and I feel like you mentioned, for horror games, to kind of keep the tension and to kind of keep the suspense and the intrigue, and playing with the camera angles and what you hear behind you or around you. I think this is going to be really, really cool. I can't wait to see it. I'm glad, and I'm a little bit surprised that this really is like the first game since God of War to kind of take on the one shot all the way throughout the entire game. I really thought that would be something that we saw more of since then, because God of War was the first one to do it. And I'm glad that we're seeing Dead Space do it. I'm excited to see, if they're going to use this again in some of their games moving forward, because again, like we know the Marvel Cap and Black Panther game is coming, and obviously they won't be able to do that entirely in one take.
Is it though?
It was.
It
is. But yeah, I don't know. I hope
27
probably. But I hope we see more games do this. I'm excited to check this game out, and I think it's cool. Court, before we end, because it is Carpool Gaming Day 2 XL 3.5 over 552 days, I want to do a quick hype ranking with you about some of the big games that are coming in the back half of the year. And I want to see how you rank the hype for these games and how we meet in the middle. So on the list, let's toss some games on this list. I'm going to take notes real quick here as we go. We're going to put, obviously, I don't think either one of us really care about Overwatch 2. Let's leave that off the list.
Nope. And I don't think anybody else cares about Overwatch 2 anymore, because they're all getting mad at it, right?
Yeah.
Call of Duty, I guess, is on there.
Sure, we can put Call of Duty on here. Okay,
I don't think it's on our hype list, but it's got to be there. It's a huge release that people like to play.
It is. Let's put Mario and Rabbids. Let's put Gotham.
God of War.
Yeah, God of War. Let's put. Do you care about Bayonetta 3?
No.
You know what? Let's stick to PlayStation games. So COD, Gotham, God of War,
and Callisto Protocol.
Callisto.
I care.
Midnight Suns, because I care, and Sonic.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all the kind of the big ones that are coming out throughout the rest of the year. So let's rank them. I want to see what. Oh, and Final Fantasy. Let's put Crisis Core.
Yeah, Ryan's not here. We don't need to talk about it.
But I'm excited. Okay, so we got COD, Gotham, God of War, Callisto, Midnight Suns, Sonic Frontiers, and Final Fantasy. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games. Okay, let's rank them, because I want to see what you think. Court, out of those games, let's do your list first. What are you least hyped about between Call of Duty, Gotham Knights, God of War, Callisto Protocol, Midnight Suns, Sonic Frontiers, and Final Fantasy? What is the bottom of your list?
Final Fantasy.
Okay.
See, we're already, our lists are just totally different.
So let's go back and forth. So I think the bottom of my list is COD.
Yeah, okay? No, that makes sense.
What's sixth for you?
Midnight Suns.
Midnight Suns. Okay. I think sixth for me, Gotham Knights. That's just where I'm at on that one.
We're fighting right now.
We are fighting.
We are fighting. Bruh, you don't even understand what's going to happen.
Bruh. What's your fifth one?
What are my choices left?
So you have Call of Duty, Gotham Knights, God of
Call of
War,
Duty.
okay, COD.
Yeah. I want to play it. I'll jump in, but
yeah,
I'm solely of the mind. I'm waiting for the acquisition to happen, and I'll just play it on Game Pass when
my fifth one, I'm going. So we both put COD already, so I'll cross that one out. My fifth one, I'm gonna put Callisto in my fifth slot.
Dude, oh man,
I know that's why I love doing the show with you. We're different, but we meet in the middle. What's your fourth game? You have Gotham Knights, God of War, Callisto, and Sonic left.
Sonic. I can't wait to play that with my daughter. She's very hyped for that game.
Let's meet here. I'm gonna put Sonic at 4 too.
There we go. There was an artist rendering of somebody who changed it to like the old school Sonic with the green hills and all that. I saw that. I was like, dude, that would have looked unbelievably. Because it looks very dark and dreary, but it does look like something that would be fun.
I know. I agree. Okay, we're into our top three. You have Gotham Knights, God of War, and Callisto.
Callisto Protocol is number 3.
Callisto's number 3. Okay. I'm going to put Crisis Core. No, I'm going to put Midnight Suns as my number 3.
So our bottoms are just
completely different. Yeah. Well, yeah.
I think our number 1 will be the same.
Yeah. So what's your number 2?
My number 2 is Gotham Knights.
Gotham Knights.
I am Batman.
Yeah.
And that's just the thing.
Crisis Core.
I can't wait for whatever the ending is. Like I think Batman's alive. Who are we kidding?
We're gonna find out. But yeah, my number 2 will be Crisis Core. Very excited about it, and that means that both of us, shocker, on a PlayStation podcast, our most anticipated, our most hyped is God of War Ragnarok.
Oh, 100%. Like that is just. I have stopped. I have said this before. Please stop putting out trailers. Don't give me any more on this game. Just give me the game. Don't Deathloop this. Just give me God of War. That's what it is. Now, if you overhype a game, you're Deathlooping it. And I don't know what it is. Have you played Deathloop?
I have. I love Deathloop. I was not excited about it. I got to the point where the marketing cycle just completely beat me down. And then once I finally started playing it, I was like, okay, hold on. I like this.
I've tried it. I tried it on the PlayStation before. I tried to jump back in on the Xbox because it's on Game Pass. Yeah, no, I played it even when I was in Texas. You saw, I busted out it was very bad in the cloud. I'll say this right now. As someone that tried cloud gaming and, RIP Stadia, I played Xbox Cloud while I was away in Texas, and it chugged at my hotel. Like, it was bad.
I can imagine.
Real bad.
Yeah, I can imagine. But that brings us to our hype list. That brings us to the end of part 1 of the Carpool Gaming Celebration Day. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you guys stick around for the Nintendo Drive with the new host. Make sure you stick around for Mario Kart with the community. But before all that, Court, if people wanted to see and hear more from you, where could they do so?
You can find me on Twitter at Court Lalonde, or you can find me at our Carpool Gaming on all socials. And you can find me every Wednesday night at 7:30 at 3 Dads and a Console. And every now and then, you can also find me on YouTube at Xbox A.
There you go. Make sure you go follow Court on all of the places and go check out the TikTok that he's running very masterfully. As for myself, you can find me on Twitter at burnout_Matt. You can find me each and every week at youtube.com/burnoutbrighter, which we might have. You know what, Court? I just realized we're going to be seeing a lot of each other these next 3 days because we're doing PlayStation Drive. You're coming on Burnout next week.
Yeah, well, when is that, Monday?
Monday night. We have 2 PlayStation Drives.
Monday night at what time?
8 p.m. Eastern.
Okay. All right, I forgot.
Yeah, we're good.
I got to do 2 podcasts on Monday night. I'm doing a hockey one, too.
There you go. We're going to be seeing a lot of each other the next few days because then we're going to be in a drought of no seeing each other for a few weeks. But seriously, as I said, the PlayStation Drive will continue to roll along. Get strapped in because we're not going anywhere. We will see you next week. Peace.
As always, we love to thank our Patreon supporters, and I want to start off with our ultimate producers, Robbie Bobby Miller, Tony Baker from Quest 4 Pixels. Please subscribe to youtube.com/Quest 4 Pixels today. Dallas Ford, co-host of The Blaine Game. Support Dallas on YouTube to get these guys to 100 subs. Emily O'Kelly, Trucker Sloth, Jonathan Brown. The new episode from PME is called Gems and is available on Spotify and Apple Music. Lee Navarro, the fearless leader of the Phoenix Overdrive Extra Life team. And honestly, Carpool Gaming's tech support. Links are all in the show notes. Please support these ultimate producers. Platinum producers, Marcus McCracken, RJ Kern and Skinny Matt. Gold members, Anna W., Cicely Caruso, Dallas Robbins, Daresh, Foolish Fuji, Jose Jimenez, Marcus O'Neill, Nagachaka, and the Snack Network. Also, I want to thank our newest patrons, Sean Hennigan and Ryan Craig. Also, I want to thank Tim Paulin for upgrading to Gold member. Thank you very much.